You don't need barbells or machines to build strong, athletic legs. And unless your only goal is to have tree trunk thighs, traditional gym leg days might be doing you more harm than good. Because real lower body health isn't about size. It's about speed, balance, range of motion, and relative strength. And I'm not being contrarian just for the sake of it. Modern leg training has been hugely influenced by bodybuilders and powerlifters. And if those are your goals, then yes, you should train like those people do. But if you want legs more like those of a martial artist or a gymnast, legs that are springy, durable, and mobile, then you need to train in a different way. In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 most crucial exercises to develop those kind of legs in a way that's joint friendly and doesn't beat up your low back. Let's get started with the old school fighter's favorite. Jump rope isn't just for cardio, and it's definitely not just for boxers or kids in the playground. Done right, it's one of the most powerful ways to build springy, resilient lower legs. That light bounce strengthens your foot and ankle, reinforces your tendons and ligaments, and boosts your bone density while simultaneously developing rhythm, coordination, and that athletic lightness of foot. But what if your jump rope game looks a little bit more like this? If you can't even get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself 2 jump ropes and you're going to fold them nice and short like this. And then you're just going to start practicing the movement. So already you're going to be reaping the benefits of jumping rope, but you're not going to be catching your feet on every single rep. And over time, this will teach you the rhythm and coordination to actually start doing jump rope. I do not have double-blind studies or deep scientific validation for this method, but I can tell you in my 25 years as a coach, I have seen it succeed far more times than I have seen it fail. Approach jump rope like a skill. Start with 3 sets of 50 jumps, focusing on landing lightly like a cat. Over time, work up to 3 sets of 100 jumps. And once you've got that down, progress to single leg jumps to really take your balance and control to the next level. If you're over the age of 40 and you aren't doing some kind of single leg training, you're leaving strength, balance, and joint resilience gains on the table. But the problem is what most people think is single leg training isn't. So in something like a split squat or a lunge, the front leg is doing most of the work, but the back leg is still contributing both to the lifting and by providing balance and stability. So it's not a true single leg exercise. Now compare that to the skater squat. This is a true single leg exercise with no help from the rear leg, no support. And what I love about the skater squat is how closely this position mimics athletic movement, right? We've got the front hip is in flexion, the back hip is in extension, the rear side hamstring is contracting, just like when we run, just like when we sprint, just like when we jump. It's also a very glute dominant exercise, and the glutes are the muscles of lower body power and athleticism. There's actually not a whole lot of quad action in this one, but don't worry about it because we're going to be hitting quads really hard later in the video. And because there's no support from the rear leg, the front knee is going to be making these little micro adjustments the entire time, and that's incredibly healthy for your tendons, your ligaments, and your nervous system. And if you're not ready for the full version yet, don't worry about it. Here are some progressions to help you work up to it. So the first progression is the fully supported skater squat. In order to do this, you're going to need something to hold on to. I'm going to use a power rack. You can just as easily use a door frame. I've seen this done with TRX. I've seen this done with rings. I've even seen this done with a tree. So long as it's something you can hold on to that's going to help you maintain your balance, you can use it. When we grab this, we want to keep a little bit of a bend in the arms. If we don't, we're going to end up pulling ourselves too far forward and we're going to lose the groove. So the first thing we're going to focus on is the rear leg. We want to curl that heel to butt, right? We want to get this deep isometric contraction in the hamstring. And we also want to think about kicking it back a little bit so we get that active hip extension. From here, we're going to sit back. So this is a little bit more of a hinge type of movement, right? We're pushing the hips back, trying to keep the shin relatively vertical. Touch, and then drive up. So heel to butt, drive the leg back, and up. Okay, that's the fully supported version. Next progression, full negative to assisted positive. For this one, it's going to be helpful for you to have a couple of hand weights, and when you hold them, don't hold them like this. hold them like this, right? You're gonna wanna get that little bit of weight as far out in front of you as you can. These are 5s and these are plenty. So for this version, we're not gonna use any support. We're gonna curl the heel to the butt, get that active hip extension, reach forward, and then your job is to sit back, slow, controlled, touch down, and then come all the way up using the back foot for assistance. So we're gonna reach forward, lower down, slow, controlled all the way, and then come up using the back foot. Once you could do this for 5 clean reps, move on to the next progression. From here, it's all about starting with a relatively shallow skater squat and over the course of time, working your way down until you're able to do the full movement. A yoga block could be a great tool here because it allows you 3 different heights with just 1 piece of equipment. And if you keep chipping away at it, one day you will unlock the full skater squat. The most crucial type of muscle fibers for you to protect as you get older are your fast twitch muscle fibers. These are the fibers responsible for speed, power, and top end strength. And these are also the fibers you lose most rapidly as you age. But good news, with the right kinds of training, you can slow that decline, reverse that decline, and stay powerful for life. And there are 2 ways you can train these fibers. The first is you can lift very heavy weights. And the other is to move a moderate weight in a very explosive manner, just like you do in the kettlebell swing. When you swing a kettlebell, you're really exploding through those hamstrings and glutes on every single rep. And this is going to help maintain and develop those fast twitch fibers throughout your lower body. So the kettlebell swing takes care of one of the key roles of the hamstring, which is to extend the hips. But the hamstrings have another crucial role to play in lower body movement, and that's where we're headed next. So your hamstrings don't just extend the hips, they're also responsible for knee flexion, right? For bending at the knee. Most guys train this on a lying leg curl machine, but here's the problem. That position doesn't mirror real life. When you're face down and ass up, your glutes are basically asleep. But in the real world, whether it's walking, running, or jumping, your hamstrings and your glutes fire together. So that's the way we want to train. And that's exactly what the Swiss ball leg curl allows us to do. Yeah, I know the Swiss ball is not the sexiest tool in the shed, but for this particular exercise, it's absolutely fantastic. And if you're not ready to do the full version yet, well, I've got some progressions that are going to help you get there. Version 1. Lift the hips and then bring the knees into the chest and then extend slowly. Version 1.5. Bring the knees in, lift the hips, extend the leg, lower the hips, and repeat. Version 2.0. Bring the knees in and lift the hips at the same time. Keep the hips up as you extend the legs. Knees in and hips up at the same time, extend the leg while keeping the hips elevated. And once you've got all that humming nicely, start over again, one leg at a time. Oh, hey, real quick. If you're over the age of 40, the healthiest thing you could be doing for yourself is to start a daily mobility practice. And in order to help you do that, I've put together a free 7.5-minute morning mobility routine for you. You can get it by clicking the link in the description down below. It's specifically designed to undo a lot of the harm our modern sedentary lifestyles are causing. So it's going to open up your hips, unlock your spine, free up your shoulders, and leave you feeling a hell of a whole lot better. You can get it by clicking the link in the description down below. This next one is going to hammer your quads while also training your feet, ankles, and deep knee mobility. It's called the tiptoe squat, or as the old-time physical culturalists called it, the deep knee bend. So let's talk about the benefits of the tiptoe squat from the ground up. First of all, we're getting foot and ankle strength, right? We're up on the ball of the foot, which is where everything athletic takes place. We're getting this deep knee bend, so we're building some resilience into the tendons and ligaments of the knees, and we're preferentially targeting that VMO muscle, right? That teardrop shaped muscle on the inside of the knee that's so crucial for both knee health and performance. And finally, we're doing it all without loading the low back, right? This is very low back friendly. And compared to most other squats, there's very little help from the glutes or hamstrings in this squat. So we really get to focus in and build some strong, powerful quads. I actually made a deep dive video on this exercise where we talk about progressions to work up to it, how to load it, and take a real deep look at the technique. And if you want to watch that video, I'm going to put a link to it in the description down below. This last one trains one of the most overlooked muscles in the entire body. It's called your anterior tibialis, and it runs up the front of your leg underneath your shin and is responsible for dorsiflexing your ankle. So bringing top of your foot in towards your shin. And most people never train this muscle, but they should, because in my 25 years working as a coach, I've trained a lot of old folks, and I can tell you the difference between the ones who shuffle and the ones who can strut is the strength of that anterior tibialis. In order to train this muscle, all you need is a wall. So you're gonna set up with your back against a wall and your feet out in front of you, and you're going to bring the top of your foot in towards your shin, squeeze for a second, and repeat. If you wanna make this movement harder, walk your feet out in front of you further and lean your back further off the wall. If you wanna make this movement easier, put your back against the wall and bring your feet in closer. And you want to do this for a relatively high amount of repetitions, somewhere in the 20 to 30 repetition range. Before I get flamed in the comments, I want to give a quick shout out to Ben Patrick, aka Knees Over Toes Guy, for repopularizing direct anterior tibialis training and for introducing the exercise I just showed to the world. So where would you put all of these into your program? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. First, you can make a complete leg day out of just these exercises. You can start with a few supersets of jump rope and kettlebell swings, move into the skater squat as your main strength exercise. Your accessory work could be tiptoe squats for the quads and Swiss ball hamstring curls for the hamstrings, and then finish the workout with tib raises to keep your feet and ankles strong. Or if you're already doing more of a traditional style leg day with squats and deadlifts and whatnot, then just plug a few of these exercises in as accessory work. They will shade in some of the areas that you're missing with the conventional big lifts. And just remember, it really is about your goals. If you want tree trunk legs, then train like a bodybuilder. That's how you get them. But if you want legs that are springy, pliable, mobile, and athletic, train like you saw in this video. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. I really appreciate it. And if you found the information in it useful, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel so much. Thanks again. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video.